Hi guys, welcome to another episode of the Technology Show, where our experts translate geek into regular speak. How do you feel about mixed reality versus virtual reality? And what are your thoughts? Gadgets or games? And where exactly are you on the battlefield of Windows versus Apple? Stay tuned for our special geek guests. And now, it's over to our Techsperts.
Hey. Technology Show time, where we translate geek
into regular speak.
I'm Brett Levy, and with me as always, Arya Sternberg. What's up?
I think that I enjoyed the Gold Coast where we were yesterday and the day before.
Now you didn't give me a chance to say how's the weather, and you would have gone in Sydney or Gold Coast, because that's how we roll. I know, so did I.
The weather's good?
It is. It was
t-shirt?
better up there.
It was better up there.
Shout out to the people in Destination Gold Coast. Matt,
Absolutely.
Nigel, Jen, Melanie, Molly and Melissa. Done.
That's them.
Okay, cool. So,
on into it.
app of the week.
What is it?
It's not really an app. Well, it is an app because it's on your phone as well, but it's more about a service. It is called Resilio. Resilio. Why? Well, because I got to. So Resilio was developed by the guys that developed BitTorrent technology. There's a show we need to do, torrenting. Hey, we need to talk about a little bit of some evil.
I think torrenting's a bit. I think it's kind of gone.
It has gone. People stream and
you people are willing to pay for it.
Okay, so before we put this terrible evil thing and paintbrush on torrenting was actually, the BitTorrent concept is actually very good.
That's fantastic.
It's peer-to-peer sharing.
Yeah.
So what Resilio does is it allows you to share your files. Now, you're going to like this because you actually had a go at me about Apple the other day for this exact reason. You put the client on your computer, so translating geek into regular speak, the desktop version of Resilio. You download it on Windows or Mac or Linux or even on a NAS box, like these OTT boxes. You download the app onto your Android or iOS phone, and then you share the files. Now, what I mean by sharing the files, it's not a cloud server. It doesn't store your documents up in the sky or on a server somewhere. You link different folders from the main client. So let's say, for example, on my Mac, I link my documents folder to Resilio. Then I open up my iPhone, and all my documents that are on my Mac are now available on my iPhone, but they haven't actually uploaded, so I'm not wasting space on the phone. So if I need a document, or is it N-A-E-I-O-U, a document, I select the document, and I'm just thinking if it was N or A, and it appears. Now, you said to me the other day, we were talking about getting music or getting videos onto my phone, and the whole iTunes crap. And I mean, I'm the first person to say that iTunes sucks. You can do it with Resilio. So if I want, like last night when we downloaded movies to watch on the plane.
Yep.
So Netflix, I can take the stuff offline. If I had the movie on my computer, I could have put it into the document folder. Or any folder that I've created, open up Resilio on my phone and pulled it straight across. No iTunes. And I have it on my iPad as well. Equally, I can delete it. So let's say I was downloading a movie to watch. I watch it on my phone, I delete it on my phone, it deletes it on my computer as well.
How does it work in terms of if your other devices are not connected to the internet and you're trying to push or pull content?
It doesn't. So but that's BitTorrent, right? Peer-to-peer. So both devices would need...
so if your computer, if you're any kind of a desktop user, you probably have your computer off on the other side.
Actually, that's a very, very good that's a very good idea. So while we're talking, I'm going to try and do it. My computer is off.
Yeah.
Okay. So I actually think it syncs.
Yeah.
I think it does do a sync.
The thinking would be is that
so I'm going to open up my
somewhere.
app. I'm going to go to that document there, and nothing happens. So I think you're 100% right. I think peer is 0. So it's exactly the same as BitTorrent. So there's a negative.
Yeah.
But it's not a negative. There it is to explain again. We're at the office the whole day.
Yep.
My computer is on when I'm away from the office. We walk into clients and they go, can you show us that document? We haven't saved it in the cloud, but it is on my computer. I can access it and pull it down.
Yep.
So that's a positive, but you've just pointed out a negative. So let's explain that. if you are looking to store documents in the cloud, you need Google Drive or iCloud or Dropbox or Box. I mean, there's hundreds to choose from, and you pay different amounts of money. Oh, that was the other thing. This is a one-off fee. I can link up to 5 devices. I think it was $100. It's not a monthly fee. They do have a business version. Mercedes-Benz uses it to push all their updates to all the cars and that. As soon as the car connects, it pulls the files.
If you're interested, it is called Resilio Connect Agent. And
that
it's secure.
sounds pretty cool as well.
Yeah.
Resilio Connect Agent.
Warning to users, if you are uploading files, you are going to be charged for data.
Yes, and downloading.
And you need to understand that.
Yeah. And downloading. But there's a setting that says Wi-Fi only.
There is. So, and this is where you get into the complexities of the nuances of setup and understanding what you're getting into. So anything that you're doing, if you're uploading, right now 20 megapixel camera. So you're taking ridiculously massive photos. So if you have auto sync and you've got 30 gigabytes going up and down constantly,
it's going to chew data.
It's going to chew data. And you look at some of the comments in the app download space. It's like, and I didn't know. It's like, well,
But again, it's the same as BitTorrent. When you connected, you're sharing and streaming. As I said, I have turned off my cellular data, so I use it in Wi-Fi zones only, and if I need it. But I mean, I can go into cellular if I need it as well.
Yeah.
So it's definitely not for everyone. But if you're running around and you work off a computer and a tablet or a computer and a phone like we do, and you leave your computer on at work, you can access your files anywhere without having to have sent them to the cloud.
Interesting question about BitTorrent, and maybe we can have a chat and ask our guests later on. What happened to MP3s and MP3 connections? So I used to have a massive, massive MP3 collection. It's still sitting there on CDs in a folder somewhere in a closet. I listen to Spotify now, or I listen to Pandora. I don't touch MP3s. I wouldn't download content to my device.
I've got a mate, Paul Thackeray, who was the marketing director of Sony Music, and used to always call me out on that. He says, you're the only digital guy I know that actually has CDs. He used to always laugh at me. But I think that's just a choice, man. But what do you do with your CDs? We've got no drives.
No, I know.
None of our machines have drives.
They're literally sitting like...
They make nice coasters, and you can fly them like frisbees.
You can.
Yes.
You can. And they do, you can get the light in people's eyes.
$9.99 a month, man. Google Music subscription is probably all there, right?
That's it. And YouTube Premium.
That will use data as well, though. That will use data as well. So if you Spotify, all these, it uses data.
And Optus gives you what?
Unlimited. Google Music's free.
Exactly.
And iHeartRadio.
Yep.
Yeah. Shout out Optus. Sorry about the lawsuit.
It's now time for tech news with a Z.
Z.
It is.
So what do you got?
I don't know if it's new. Why don't you kick it off?
I'm going to kick it off because we were talking about it now with Cam. And in fact, your phone just rang. Guys, it's the tax season in Australia. That means scams are aplenty. You are going to get emails telling you you've got money. You are going to get emails telling you can quickly spend money before the tax year and get tax deduction. And you are going to get phone calls that are going to try and extract money from you. They all have the same thing in common. They're a bullshit. If you didn't enter a competition, you didn't win. If you didn't subscribe for something, you didn't win. If you didn't order something, you're not getting something. It's just really freaking obvious. And yet, Cam, what were you saying? $10 million already? Yeah. So there's a phone call going around from the Chinese embassy. Apparently, it's a scam, and it's already made $10 million.
Yeah. I think...
Can I give you my bank account? If you're going to just give away $10 million, I'm quite happy to do what I need to.
What would be really useful, and I don't know if we can include it in the notes, but what to do, what actions you can take as a consumer. We have...
Remember my whole thing when I had engagement with that guy forever and the cows came home?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I know. Bit of news on robotic stuff. There's a new soft robotic skin that automatically heals itself, even when you shoot holes through it. And basically, it's a liquid metal that carries a current. So if you break through the metal at any given point, it will reconnect itself.
Okay, just stop for 1 second.
Yeah.
Think about what you've just said. You said robot and metal, the skin that reconfigures
it's
itself.
The Terminator right there.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
What the are we doing?
Shut the front door.
We're opening doors. We helping them heal themselves. You can't even take a headshot.
Our friend Penny said the other day that we don't have
long to go.
General AI yet. However, we're building the blocks to put it together so that was it Terminator 2 with the liquid metal guy. So
you could just see, like, if there is a heaven, all these guys sitting up there going, "Look, you see, George, I told you. I told these mofos are going to do that."
Yep.
I mean, really. That is cool tech, though.
It's pretty.
It's a tech show. We can't help the fact that they will be their master. We'll be their slaves.
It's our downfall, but hey, it's all right.
We at least can take. Hey, man, we built you before they shoot us. So I'm just going to say Apple is awesome. Oh, do I need to carry on?
I know you love Apple. What did they do this time? Is it the HomePod? Oops.
No. Australia's devotion to all things tech has been reinforced. Apple's been named as the nation's top employer.
Okay.
As in...
how many people work? You mean like people that work at Apple and sell Apple
the places
in retail?
the places to work, from the corporate level to the retail level, everything in between. So,
Wow.
this is legit. Randstad, the employer. They're a big employment. They rank the top 20 most attractive employers from a candidate's point of view. No,
Jenny Craig, super hot. Like.
So Apple, number 1. Here's where it gets interesting. Virgin Australia, number 2. Qantas, number 3. Competitive Foods Australia, number 4. ABC, number 5.
The radio.
Yeah, TV, broadcasting,
TV,
yeah.
Radio broadcast, okay.
West Farmers, I don't know what that is. University of New South Wales, and that's 7. JB Hi-Fi, 8. This one got me. Australia Post, number 9. I mean, they must have like really good things. Like they guarantee no paper cuts or something.
How many
I don't know.
people are voting in this thing? Because the people I've met, I mean, no offense to Australia Post, but JB Hi-Fi, I go in there, like, people are not that stoked to...
Maybe not stoked to help you, but they're obviously stoked
like
to work
working
there.
there.
This is about them working there, right? Australian government and Queensland government came in there. University of Melbourne came there. IBM came in there. Nestle came in there. So interesting. But I did I mention was Apple was number 1. I didn't see Google.
I know, I was going to say, where's Google?
I didn't see Microsoft.
Where's Microsoft?
Any of these other second-class type technologies?
I wonder if the study is sponsored by Apple.
No, it was
Wouldn't be
Randstad.
surprised. Does Randstad have investment by Apple? Don't know. Tell you what.
Just
Coca-Cola,
give it to me, man.
Coca-Cola's new soda machine lets you mix your own flavors via Bluetooth. 20 different syrups in the machine. You can create your own magical soda mixes.
Nice. I used to do that in Atlanta, in Georgia, in the States. When you go through the world of Coke, at the end you can taste all the different beverages from around the world. I took a cup and literally went under all 40 of them. I don't know what it was, but it was different.
Yep.
MIT. So this one, they've built a self-driving car. Okay, that's not news. It is, though, when it drives without needing maps. So it's been designed to go into unmapped country roads. They're calling it MapLight, and it's a system that uses Google Maps and sensors, and it actually then helps plot the road for the mapping. But it can just drive without needing a road or a map or something like that. So you've got a robot that can seal its own skin. We've got a car that can drive itself wherever it wants to go. We know where this story ends. But it's reliable up to 100 feet in advance. And, it's being tested on a Toyota Prius at the moment.
So
that's just wrong. But anyway.
I was having a chat with my mom about biohacking. And there was...
The body modifications.
Yeah, body modifications. And some scary news that I'm actually not going to share just around, biohacking.
No, please share it. You can't say that and then say you're not going to share it.
Well, there's a fellow who injected himself with a homemade herpes vaccine.
Idiot.
He was unfortunately found dead.
No.
Yeah, so that happened. The other side of biohacking is pretty good is those little rice-sized NFC solutions that people are injecting into their thumb.
Arms and that,
right there in the thumb. So the guy that kind of came up with that first one, they're testing on cows, so you can track cows. So the tags that they're using. That's pretty cool. Yeah, it's a smart one. And
what's your view on biohacking? I mean, would you humanoid yourself?
Second gen. I would chip myself. I would
chip
in my
myself
head.
as well.
Second gen though. I mean, but I think the only problem is that if you become reliant on the tech, it's kind of like, we did the Alexa example. No, I did Google. It was like, hey Google, it's 2 + 2. It was like 4. It's like, goodbye to the need to learn maths.
Yeah, you just start chipping, right?
What's the definition of ABC? It's like, all that work that you and I went through of learning the Dewey Decimal System, going into the libraries to actually find information and store it in our heads.
You're giving away our age when you start talking about the decimal system. I guarantee you.
The Dewey Decimal System.
Am I right? You don't know what the system is. I'm just looking at our guess, and that's an age thing, right? We'll explain that to you and everyone else, because if the listeners are your age group. So a library, which is actually a place that you go and look at real books, not where you store stuff on a Mac.
Made from paper.
The reference books are stored under a decimal system, so they're stored under numbers. You have to go and find the card, and if the card was there, the book was there, and it told you where.
Yep.
And if the card wasn't there, the
Someone's
book was
got
out.
it, yep.
Yeah, and I remember that.
Yeah.
Okay, now I just feel old now. So I'm gonna throw another one, because we talked about Apple being awesome. So Google, some of their employees have quit their jobs due to Google's involvement in Project Maven, which is a US Defense Department program that uses artificial intelligence to interpret video images and then assist in targeting enemy strikes, as in airstrikes. So let's rewind. Robots who self-heal, cars that drive without maps, and now we have drones that can self-strike based on facial recognition. Now, the only thing that really loses here are the people that lost their jobs. I don't think Google or the government gives a shit. They're carrying on with it. Personally, I like the fact that if you're going to kill someone with an airstrike, you actually know who you're killing by image recognition, as opposed to just some guy that wants to push the button. But we do have the instance when Google's got it wrong. And remember that instance when it was showing black people as bears, I think, or monkeys because of recognition. Remember that there was a lawsuit.
No. Well,
now imagine if that happens in a facial recognition error.
We saw the facial recognition one where it couldn't even see the black woman.
Yeah, that's right.
Couldn't even recognize a person there. That's a huge problem. So, but again,
there we go, right?
Yeah.
So we allowing drones to do airstrikes based on facial recognition.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully they have notches on their phones to start getting 3D.
Speaking of notch, I think this is my last bit of news.
Okay, tell me.
The question is, and we've talked about something before. No, it's not the answer to everything in life. Will the iPhone SE2 have a notch or not?
I don't know. I have watched so many videos where they're showing it does have the notch.
Looks so cool.
And doesn't have the notch. There are already cases being made for the new SE2, so it tells me it is coming out. The camera on the back seems to be very iPhone XE, like the double DSLR as opposed to the single. And some of them are showing room for a notch, and some are showing no room for a notch. Some are even still showing the home button.
That's it.
It's not often that Apple actually gets to keep its secret this close to the reveal. But yeah, I don't know. I'm going to guess and say yes, based on the fact that they took the technology of the 6 and stuck it in the 7 and stuck it into the 5. In fact, it was the 7. So yeah, we're going to really lose it, Jess. So they took the iPhone 7 tech and spec hardware and put it into the chassis of a 5 and called it the SE.
Yes. SE2.
No, the original
SE. Yes.
So the fact that they did that, they're going to take the learnings of the 10 or the X and put that back into the SE. So if you ask me to take a prediction, I'm going to say yes. There will be a notch and there'll be no button, and it will make it a super desirable device because it will be priced, sized, everything right.
Moving on to... Oh no.
Oh yes.
Oh no.
It is.
No.
The A and B split test.
It's happened. It happened. It came.
So this one, in fact, you know what? We've gone from like arguing day one where it was really like the A-R-A-B split, like who's better. Then we started deciding we'll do it for the good of the listeners. Should we experiment? I don't know how many people actually use Twitter. We know we've got a decent enough following. So on Twitter, @T_knowledgy. If I have to spell that, that means you're not listening to the show anyway. You tell us just use the hashtag A and B split.
Hashtag A&B split.
And tell us what you want us to review, X versus Y, whatever it is. And even if it's not tech, it'll be interesting to see. I mean, like skiing versus snowboarding, or
burgers versus tacos.
Well, you've just gone across genres now as well. At least keep it all Mexican, man. So let's see. Otherwise, info@eaglewavesradio.com.au. Shoot a mail with the subject A&B split test, and yeah, we'll give it a whirl. But
getting straight into it,
what are we doing this week?
We are doing electric vehicles with 2 wheels.
Nice. So we're not talking about Teslas or
no
Priuses. What are we talking about?
We're talking about the unfortunately another exploding device. The
What's your one?
What came out yet? The hoverboard versus the electric scooter.
Okay, so I'm just going to put it out there straight away. You're a jinx. You buy devices that blow up. Who owned a Samsung Note 7?
But none of my devices actually blew up.
No, but you buy them. So please promise me you'll never buy an Apple. Ever.
Tomorrow. I'm going.
Because then I know
That's
it's going to eventually
Apple
stop
Watch.
blowing up.
Apple Watch.
Oh, that blows up in sales and coolness. So, hoverboard versus electric scooter.
Yeah.
You've got a hoverboard, hey?
I do.
Okay. Tell us about your hoverboard. How many times have you fallen off your hoverboard? Be honest.
Once.
Okay. Was
Yeah.
it bad?
I
Could you get up and walk and smile, or was it really...
It was nearly bad because I'll tell you
One time at band camp.
One time at band camp. So the hoverboard is the 2-wheel device. It has a wheel on the left and the right.
Yes.
You stand on a flat surface in between the board, and it uses a gyroscope to balance you. And so you sort of lean forward to move forward, you lean back to lean back, and one
like the
forward.
Segway type.
Exactly, just like the Segway, and
Yeah.
and it's exactly the same experience. Now you have nothing to hold on to, so getting on and getting off, first of all, is where
That's skill, man.
It takes a bit of skill. I can do it without holding on to something, but you kind of need to step onto it and almost hold onto a couch or a chair or something.
Please video next time you use it. I really got to see that.
It's super fun.
Okay.
I mean, especially the cats. They tend to go nuts on it. But, you know...
put your cat on it.
No.
I know, you moving
chase
around.
The cats,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
because the cats don't know what to do. Like, here's this human being kind of moving without any sort of, proper locomotion. I went over the bump at my old office into the elevator, and it hit the bump, and the board tilted back, and it moved back kind of quickly, and I felt...
So you jolted.
Yeah.
You went forward.
Yeah.
Inertia. Great
I was able to catch myself. And I think in general, unless you've practiced with it, if you're going outside on the street, and this goes for the new Segway 9bot 2-wheel gyroscope ones, you've got to know that if you are going to hit a bump, you have nothing to hold on to.
Yeah, except for the floor with your face.
Yeah. You think of a bicycle and talk about the electric scooter, you are holding on to something. And
So that's what I've got, is the electric scooter.
And what happens when you hit a bump?
Well, you're holding onto the handlebar.
Holding onto it.
So it's all good.
You can step off anytime. Unless you're going 25, 30K, which some of them do.
Sure, but even then, I mean, the brake on that thing is really good. It's a handbrake. It's not like the little fold-up scooters where you have to put your foot on the back wheel and you like stand on it. That's just naff. It's a proper handbrake. I really enjoy the electric scooter. I think it's a great device. I'll tell you what the problems of the electric scooter are. One is charge. So if you're using it as a commuting vehicle and you forget to plug it in, you're in trouble. And it's quite heavy to push.
Which is the second
issue. You know, yours you can just pick up and put in the backpack.
Yeah. Oh, wait, I'd say they're about the same weight.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I thought they were light.
Yeah, no, they got some weight on them.
So what's the battery range from a time point of view? I think the scooter goes faster than the hoverboard.
It lasts quite a while because, I mean, basically the entire base you're standing on is a battery.
The battery.
Yeah, and remember we were looking at that, I think it was a Segway scooter, and you could almost not even see the battery. Like the battery is in the post.
That looked terrible, and it weighed a lot. I wasn't that excited about
12 kg or something like that.
They
range from 12 to 16.
And it was $1,000.
Yeah.
You can do better.
Yeah, $1,000.
I'm sorry, you can do better.
Yeah.
So, if we had to sum it up, fun, I think the hoverboard will probably be more fun because of the way you can move and how your friends can fall off. Like I'm thinking of like Darwin Award videos for YouTube.
Yes. Unless you get one of the bigger industrial ones, which are a little bit more expensive, you're not going to be able to get from point A to point B. It is
so
just
it's not a
fun
commuter.
device. It's not a commuter.
So the electric scooter, you can commute,
yes,
but you can't really have fun. If you had to jump or something on it, you are going to break the electrics.
It's not a fun one.
Yeah.
Side note that there are a handful of different devices. The one with the single tire, the 9-bot famous one.
Yeah.
And I've
You've
seen
used
people
one of those,
commute-
haven't you?
I haven't.
Okay, I thought you'd.
But I got a mate in Vietnam that kind of runs the club and sells them over there, and
Okay.
he lives and swears by him. So it's
Those are
very
lighter though,
interesting.
hey?
They're lighter.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
I saw one at the Broadway shopping center. The guy was crossing the road on it, and it was just like this man was just flying. I was like, what?
yeah.
And I saw at his feet, he had
Yeah.
one of the 9-bots.
The like many of these devices, and I know we got to move on, but the capability of the devices versus the legality of using them in the street, because they actually do tend to go quite fast. The electric scooter in the U.S. is getting regulated. And so while some of the ride sharing are trying to get into it, Lyft is actually looking at investing in a huge fleet of the electric scooters that you can ride share, like the
I saw that.
O-bikes here.
We talked about Uber investing in that, into
yeah.
the scooters and the O-bikes and that.
Yeah.
And like,
It makes sense if the laws are allowed on it. And if you see, like, I don't know if you saw, but there's that guy cruising down Pacific Highway up in North Sydney, and he was going down, and I saw him going back up. He was going at least 25, 30 in the street.
yeah.
And so, cars don't necessarily know what to look out for. He wasn't wearing a helmet. There's no helmet law.
That's the thing.
You
There's
can
no
go
helmet law,
and
and
you
that's
can
the
go
problem.
on sidewalks. You're
Yeah.
actually expected to go on sidewalks. So if you are going to be going that kind of speed, how do you
Yeah.
regulate?
I think, though, that's the most important thing. It's not enough to wear a helmet. It's just clever, because when your brains are
folks,
lying all over the floor, it looks a bit worse.
wear the helmets.
Yeah.
If you don't like wearing a helmet with the O-bikes or whatever, bring a
Bring your
hair
hairnet or whatever.
Yeah, hairnet.
Look, I must be honest, that is stiff. Well, Roger Lawrence was very complimentary about the fact that we have now adopted XR. He actually made a point of mentioning that to us at lunch. And so thank you, Roger Lawrence and the team from Achiever
Yes.
for lunch.
We'll get
and
you on
for
that.
sanctioning us for the use of the terminology XR. So I see it's only fitting then I have to talk about an XR piece of news.
Go for it.
I cannot believe that this is coming out of my mouth, but Microsoft, I actually have to give them a compliment, okay? I'm fine, I'm not a robot, I don't have self-healing skin, it really is me. No, but seriously, I do, I'm quick to bash them, but this time they did well. They've just launched mixed reality for SharePoint. Now, if you've ever worked in a corporate environment with SharePoint, it's the most shittiest. I'm bashing them again. It is. It's not a great UR. Okay, it's a place where you collaborate and you put docs and you wish people a happy birthday, and there's a little bit of a chatter board, and that, hence the name SharePoint. It's the water cooler inside the Microsoft suite. Okay.
Nexus. What was that app that was on BlackBerry?
I know exactly what you're talking about. It's same. Yeah, they just don't
It
get it
was
because
Microsoft version,
they're thinking business,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
However, they've now said, hold on a second, we've got a cool piece of tech called HoloLens. We have a place called SharePoint where people collaborate. So, let's do SharePoint Spaces. Not sold on the name, but that's fine. And as you can expect, you can now share and collaborate and visualize in 3D images and data and that with people via HoloLens. So it's making a really flat, ugly UI sexy and real world, which is what MR is supposed to do.
Yep.
So kudos to them, well done, and I'm pretty sure I'll find something in the future to bash you on. But for now, Office 365 users, you do have to have web AR capabilities through your browser.
Yeah.
So that means that obviously there's a bit of performance requirements, but if you have a HoloLens, you've probably got a decent machine that's connecting to it, right? So that's just the caveat, though. What you got?
I'll start with an AR. A young gentleman named Yuma Sorianto, I might have pronounced that wrong. He's an 11-year-old coder from Australia.
11.
Local, 11 years old.
You're nodding your head, you know him. Yeah. Oh, okay.
No, he's not now. Our guest in the over here is saying now. He created a game called Let's Stack AR, where you help a duck piloting a UFO stack blocks.
Yeah.
But 11-year-old created an AR game.
I was going to say, who gives a shit what the game is? I mean, he's 11.
He's 11. I mean, come on, he's taught himself how to code. The coding required him to learn trigonometry. He's developed 7 apps, and this is his latest creation. So
Wow.
the Wonder Kid, just a little
Yeah,
kid.
yeah, and Aussie.
Yeah.
Go boy. What iOS and Android? I mean, worth featuring as an app of the week and giving it a punt. Make a note.
I think
Have
so.
a look, see him, or even if not, let's review one of the apps.
Totally.
I'm going to stay with AR, and I found this one just for you. It is called Lightsaber Duels by Disney. They've just filed a patent. They're coming out with a device, so it's a lightsaber. I mean, I've probably got you just on that. And you'll play an arena where you'll be able to actually have lightsaber wars with other people. The only thing we don't know, so they filed the patent, so does that mean we're going to get a home version of it? Or are they going to, there's new parks opening up, Disney Star Wars Galaxy parks that are opening up in, I think it's 2019, end of next year. They've been slated to open. So maybe this will be one of the, what do you call it? Attractions. Couldn't think of the word.
Yep.
So we can actually go and have a lightsaber war against each other one day.
I've heard from Roger, who we just mentioned, that Beat Saber is the best VR experience he's ever had.
Well, Roger, we've already spoken. We've thanked you for lunch. Please invite us over to come and play.
Yes.
We've talked about that. It was hyperbolic or whatever they call it.
Absolutely. Awesome.
Hyperbolic magnetism.
So, bits scary and interesting, and another reason why, folks, you should be paying attention to the VR space. China's Communist Party is reportedly using VR to test the loyalty of its members.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
And what happens if you fail?
Basically, you have to go to counseling or get guidance from experts.
This is Big Brother.
Yep.
This is like George Orwell.
Yep.
Classic.
So there are 30 questions that that measure your party spirit and loyalty to the Communist Party.
Oh my god.
And that's for real.
Even Cam's laughing.
Now, on the flip side of that, in India, there's a company called APITA, A-P-I-T-A, which assesses job aspirants' capabilities using virtual reality. And
That's different.
It's a platform, and tons of companies are actually using it. So IT, healthcare, hospitality, logistics, banking, automation, engineering, sales, marketing, list goes on and on. But they've built a platform, and we know all about platforms, right?
Platform. That's a
it's not a platform.
Joke.
It's not
a platform.
No, sorry, inside joke. But yeah, no. It makes sense because you're immersed in the space. You actually are able to test skills, dexterity.
No, I love it.
All kinds of things.
No, I think that's great, but not when you start like.
No, not
questioning
testing loyalty. Yeah, I mean are you loyal?
I'm just seeing like a haptic chair in a really dark room with dripping water and
God.
Anyway, well, seeing you've gone there, I'm going to end off XR with another morbid that just brings this full circle. I mentioned MIT just now.
Yep.
They have now built a VR environment called flight goggles, where they're training drones to fly around and identify inanimate objects without them actually being there. So it's brilliant because you can just create a small environment for testing. It's scary because here we go again, teaching machines to be clever. The reason I'm mentioning the story, though, I must be honest, a little bit of FOMO. You and I didn't plan our trip up to the Gold Coast very well. We actually spoke about flying into Brisbane.
Yep.
These guys are currently in Brisbane. The IEEE show, which is ending in 2 days' time, is on in Brisbane. It's the International Conference on Robotics and Automation. That's like a geek fest, man. And we were there. We're losers. Can we put the little L and take another picture for today's show?
No. Don't worry about it.
Anyway, so that's XR.
It's time for the guest of the week.
That means we're at the end of the show.
We're at the end of the show.
I didn't say top of the hour because it's not an hour. How good was that? So this week, welcome to the show, Nico King. How's it going?
Fantastic, thanks.
So I have to just read this. You're the creative director and co-founder of Chaos Theory Games. Okay?
Yep.
That's the cool part. But the best part was something on your bio on the website. It's like, when can you work? Just what does it say on your website? When can we work on the next great thing? Or I don't know. I read it somewhere.
My catchphrase is, "Wouldn't it be cool if?"
There we go. Wouldn't it be cool if? There we go.
Nice.
I thought I'd written it down, but I didn't. Wouldn't it be cool if?
I've got a big habit of saying that every single project. Doesn't matter what the budget is. It's, wouldn't it be cool if we just did this one thing? And everybody goes, yes, but
yes, but
we need to deliver the project. So shut up and get back in the game.
Move people to a yes and.
Yes and.
Yes and. It's so much nicer than yes but.
So we met through a game. Well, you know what? Let's not worry about where we met. Tell us about Chaos Theory Games. What it is you do, the name, the objective.
The origin
wouldn't it be cool
story.
The origin story. There we go.
Chaos Theory Games was founded as a proto company when I was about 12 years old with my two best friends and now business partners.
Nice.
Sure. The 11-year-olds got competition.
We were always very passionate about games and wanting to work on our own projects before we even knew what software development was. Really, we were designing game worlds and essentially just ripping off other IPs that we really liked, but we were 12, so I think we were allowed to do that. Designing our own consoles and everything. Very excited about.
I have to stop you there.
Yeah.
What operating system were you working in
at
12 years old?
Just Windows. So I think I'm on the creative side, but I think we were using XNA.
Okay.
It was the first game engine that we really used.
Okay.
Which wasn't that easy to work with. So we kind of split up into 3 different disciplines. I studied art, and one of my passions is really science and technology, but we needed an artist on our team, so I decided to go and do a 3D art course and then did a concept art course. Then after school, the company was officially founded the day after the youngest of us turned 18. So as soon as we were able to...
That's a cool story, huh?
We formed the company, and then all went to university and colleges and everything, and then we made a few games in our spare time, tried to make millions making mobile games and releasing our own IP, which was interesting. It was a learning experience.
So you haven't made the millions yet?
Not yet. No,
okay.
We're still working on it. After we graduated, we decided that we needed to turn our passion into our career and start paying ourselves. So now we do client services, we do contract work for advertising agencies or educational institutions or various people who want games made, and mainly work in mobile and AR and VR and a lot of different random technologies.
And the breakdown of work that you do now compared to, obviously you started off with the passion of it and now you have to pay the bills. What is the breakup between your own projects and paid
Good
work
question.
And what kind of paid work do the different clients?
We have a policy at the moment where we don't work on our own projects because we need to focus on growing the business to get to a point where we can focus on our own projects again.
Yep.
That kind of doesn't really stop us from working on our own projects every now and again.
Wouldn't it be cool if?
Yeah, definitely. No, we end up doing a lot of pitching for different projects, and that allows us to kind of inject our own philosophy into the games that we work on and the client projects that we work on. And that philosophy is really around challenging, inspiring, and entertaining people. So creating games that are first and foremost really fun and entertaining and engage people, and then they inspire them and educate them in really subtle, subliminal ways. We think that the best way to learn is really first-hand experience and to be really encouraged and enticed into learning.
So I'm glad you said that, because that's I was going to jump the gun earlier. That's how we met. I know James from a company called AFK, Away from Keyboard, for those that we've got to translate geek.
Yep.
My son would be proud of me, because the other day he said something. I said, Kate, it's time AFK. He goes, how do you know that? I was like, oh, I'm cool like that. So you helped James, or worked with James on a project called Rainbow Reef. Now I have to say that was an addictive little game. So because it's radio, we have to describe. It's one of those games like where you build a reef and then you add shells and you add coral and then you add fish. And you can't add fish that are going to eat the other fish, or then you can add fish that eat the other fish, but if you add the fish that eat the other fish, you can't get other fish, and the turtles run away. James gave me a test flight, so like a beta, for those that don't know what test flight is, and I finished it. What he didn't tell me, you'll be proud of this, is that I could bar pearls without actually being charged money. So the pearls were the currency to get the big boat. I painstakingly fed those little shits until they grew and gave me coins and all the other things, and the coral grew. But although, I learned from it. I learned what was involved to care for a reef, to put the reef together. Well, not that people go and put reefs together, but the fact that it's an ecosystem. So you're talking about the educational side of the game. Is that what Rainbow Reef was supposed to do, as opposed to just another one of these farming or zoo type games?
That's definitely us injecting our philosophy into a pretty open brief. James wanted to work with us. He wanted to work on a mobile game that used in-app purchases, so it would be a free-to-play but no ads, kind of monetizing through in-app purchases. Yep. And then we workshopped with him to come up with a cool idea. I have in the past been very, very passionate about marine aquariums, tropical marine aquariums, and that's sort of formed the basis, and then we injected a lot of extra science and environmental messaging around the reef, but it was really an evolution of the concept. It wasn't necessarily fully formed from the get-go, but the intention was to create a game that made millions of dollars, and we've just so happened to create a game that has quite a strong statement about the environment, and that's kind of what we're pursuing at the moment. We're trying to find partners and scientific institutions that want to support implementing live data into the game, so that we can basically reflect what's happening in the actual environment in the game, so that we start a dialogue whenever there is an event in the real world. You have people who are playing the game who understand what's happening, and that starts a dialogue and gets everybody a lot more aware of what's actually going on.
So basically, we're not just sitting and mindlessly playing games. The idea behind the company is to actually use the game as to tell a story. I mean, you're talking about live ingestion. You and I had a off-air chat about this. So, for example, when there's a bleaching occurrence on the real barrier reef, which is a big problem for us, for those that don't know what bleaching is, it's literally when the reef dies. It just turns white. There's no color left. There's no life. There's nothing. So what you were saying to me off air, which I think is amazing, is you could actually be playing the game, and next minute an interstitial or a pop-up occurs saying a bleaching has just occurred at such and such a section, and the opportunity to donate. Again, people can't see, but if you look at any of the photos, I wear a full ocean bangle, which is taking plastic out of the ocean. I'd like to think I've contributed, but there's obviously it's something you can always continue to contribute to. So just by buying pearls, you could also contribute to marine biology research. I like the idea of the whole, learn but give.
Yeah, definitely.
You smiling?
I have a fantastic question. I'd love to get the third-party expert perspective. Apple versus Android.
Oh, here we go.
Because you're developing, and I noticed some of the games are available on both, some are available on one or the other. I know the Rainbow Reef is, I believe, iOS only at this point.
Well, does that not just tell you the answer to the question?
No, let's hear it. Maybe not.
Apple versus Android. Nico, what are you slinging? What's your weapon of choice?
I like both platforms a lot from a usability point of view. From a development point of view, it's a lot easier to develop for Android. I think that
I know that. I've even invented that. The APK, you just plug it in.
Yeah, they make developers jump through a lot of hoops. But then on the consumer side, that kind of leads to better products and more just more robust kind of ecosystem. I must say I really, really like the Apple laptops, though. I just think that my laptop keeps on working and just keeps on working. I like the trackpad, it's good.
I'm so glad you opened this up, Sternberg. And what device do you use? What handset?
Samsung Note 5, and I'm going to get the new Note or the new Samsung S something.
Fist bump right there. Boom. That's all I got to say. You heard it here first, folks.
No one develops on a phone, right? They develop on a computer. So he uses Mac. You're still half cool in my eyes, okay? Yeah. We'll give you that much.
The reason that we bought the Mac is because you can't use a PC to develop for iOS. You have to buy a Mac to do it.
Which is good.
Look at that.
You want
it's
the
good.
Ecosystem.
That's Apple.
You want the right
computer.
colors.
It's a good computer.
Yeah.
No, We all
also,
know.
yeah,
I've
given
owned
back.
an Apple. I give props to it. I also give props definitely to Apple handsets. I think that the ecosystem lockdown is a little bit annoying. I think that Apple Watch, it is the best wearable.
It's definitely the best
right
wearable
now,
we have right now.
particularly with the sensors and what it delivers to you. Just open it up, guys. Why do you have to make it so hard for us?
Because
Please.
if we let everyone into the country club, it just wouldn't be a country club anymore.
Man.
That's why we
man.
have business class and first class and economy class. So
I'm gonna ask just a last quick question. We have to cut it up pretty soon. In terms of the projects, because on your site, you're saying, hey, if you have an idea, come by. If you have some notes on a napkin, do you have access to funds or work with any VCs or accelerators so that someone with an idea could come to you and say, we know you guys are the bomb diggity. Can you help us to actually realize our dream?
We usually, not necessarily VCs, but more angel investor types, people who have money and an idea and they want to make it happen. We definitely want to speak to more people who are interested in investing on a more regular basis. That'd be great. But yeah, it's usually somebody's got a passion project and they really, really believe in it, and then we come on and really help them realize that dream.
Nice.
I mean, look, it's commercial first, which is great.
It's gotta be.
It has to be in this day and age, especially when you put in the number of hours that you do to get something out. I mean, we've all done it.
Oh man.
What I wanted to ask is, do you have a preference? Now that you guys have been doing this since you were 12, so I mean that's what 3-4 years. No, I'm just saying.
It's probably 12 years now, so half my life.
So there we go.
Yeah.
So I would definitely give you the standing that you know what you're talking about. You've walked the shoes. You've developed through the different apps. Given all the different things we have, first-person shooters, VR, AR, MR, XR, I don't know, anything you want. The what do they call them? The platformers, the never-enders. What do you got? Taking away the philosophy of it needs to have more than just being the game. If money wasn't an object, and but we could do this. What is your what do you want to build? Where's your happy place? Which are the genres?
We have one concept which we really, really want to build, which is it'd be probably considered a strategy game, but you take control of the Black Plague, and the goal of the game is to invade the human body and kill the human body. So each level is based on the immune system and the different stages that the patient goes through. So by playing the game, you learn about microbiology and the human immune system.
Wouldn't it
and
be
the
cool if
defense
you?
response.
Wouldn't it be cool if? No, I'm just agreeing with you.
It would be very cool
so
if.
we've got robot skin self-healing, drone self-learning, and now you want us to play killing ourselves.
A real-time strategy game where you kill the human body.
So for you then, strategy as in thinking. So it's actually you always about learning as opposed to just fun.
I would say that fun always comes first. Like you can never, or our philosophy is never learning first. It's always you get people excited, you get people engaged, so that they want to be there and they want to experience more. And preferably you don't even present the learning in the app. You inspire them to go and outside of the game learn about microbiology so they can come back and kick ass in the game and do really well and beat all their friends.
We have got to that time of the show.
So I have a dozen other questions, but we'll
we can take them. We can take them onto Twitter and as well.
Absolutely.
Where do we find you?
At Captain Polymer. There's an underscore between Captain and Polymer, and it's polymer like the plastic. On Twitter, and LinkedIn is LN Nico King, NICO KING.
Website chaostheorygames.com, not .com.au, right? Just .com.
Just .com.
I'm sure you got Facebook on the same type of thing.
Yep.
What about YouTube? Are there videos?
We do trailers for our games, but not a huge amount of content. It's something that we want to do more of.
All right. But there's enough portals there.
Excellent.
So, anything from your side? Well, I mean, I know, but to wrap up.
Always something from my side. No, I think that's about it. I'm keen to see what comes next from you guys. Very
we're
excited.
definitely going to be watching. We want you back on the show.
Definitely.
Nico, thank you
very much.
Yeah, we'll catch you there. And so, until next time, keep your screens clean and your knobs shiny.
Thanks for listening to our latest episode of The Technology Show. Remember, for more episodes, hop onto eaglewavesradio.com.au, follow us on Twitter and like us on Facebook. Catch you next time.